Hi guys. I had a little freak out before I started recording this video, so it's a little bit late and I apologize for that, or later in the day than I normally record. Um, I am also sick again, or rather, I got better, had a cold last time I talked to you, got better, and my husband brought Cred home from work with him, and so, yeah. This time I am coughing a lot, so my throat is pretty raw and ragged, so I feel like I sound different. Even though last time I told you I thought I sounded weird, and when I watched the video, I didn't think I sounded that weird, but this time I kind of feel like I really do. Yeah, I'm giving Barry White a run for his money when I wake up in the morning. Anyway, I'm gonna try to do the video because despite the fact that it's only been about a week and a half since the last time I uploaded something, because I uploaded my last video late, this is my actual scheduled recording day. It is Monday, October 23rd, and this, I would do a fanfare, but I don't think I can do it. It'd be pathetic and squeaky sounding, so I won't do it. But, this is my 20th episode. So, yeah. 20 episodes in the can. Go me. I really wish I had planned out, or rather, I wish I had done just one more video in the space since I started last year, so I could have made my 20th video my anniversary video. My next video, my 21st episode, will be my anniversary video because I uploaded my I uploaded my first video on November 1st, 2016. It'll be past November 1st by the time you see me next time, but I'm still going to do an anniversary video. I was trying to debate whether or not to do like a big fanfare kind of thing this time, because 20 is a nice round number, or to wait until my anniversary. Since my anniversary video is the next one, I'm going to wait, but I will have some stuff to give away. I don't know if it's going to be fancy in any other way, but I will have a giveaway in the next episode. So let me go ahead and do my introduction now, since I've just blasted right past it. Hi, my name is Sarah, otherwise known as Little Snips, and this is my Flosstube channel. Thank you for coming back if you are a regular watcher and subscriber. If you are new to my channel, I know I've gotten a couple of brand new subscribers, so thank you so much for that, and welcome, welcome. I hope you enjoy what you see and you keep coming back. Excuse me, like I said, I'm cold, so occasionally I might have to pause and clear my throat. I will try not to do it a lot. I will try not to cough a lot. I did take some cough syrup, so hopefully I won't be coughing in your face. Anyway, I'm Sarah, this is Little Snips, and this is my Flosstube channel, and I have been doing this for almost a year now, not nearly as long as some of the bigger name people, all of our favorites and all of our mentors, not a mentor, that would be, what do you think a mentor would be? It'd be like half mentor, half horse? I don't know. But not nearly as long, or I haven't done as many videos as some of our mentors in the Flosstube community. But a year is pretty good. About halfway through, I think, I started showing you my face, so you get to see me. And yeah, so welcome. I will do, I have said before, and as you guys know with the rack thing behind me, I have creepy crawly things in boxes behind me. I have snakes. And some people have said that they're interested in seeing the snakes, and some people have said that they'd rather not. Because this is a 20th episode, and because I decided not to do a big giveaway this time, I think, in celebration, I will actually show you another one of my snakes. We just went to a snake show at the end of September, and we got some new babies. And I got some very pretty babies, so I will show you one of my ball pythons. But I'm not going to do that now, so if you don't like snakes, don't worry about it. I'm not going to spring a snake on you. I will wait till the very end, and I will show her then. I think this is going to be a long video, though, guys, so strap in, get your drinks, get your snacks, whatever you do when you're watching my videos. I don't have a lot of stitching to show you, but I have been kind of bad in this haul department. Haul, not Saul. In the haul department, and yeah, so I have quite a bit to show you. So get comfortable. I kind of speed up talking sometimes, so I might rip through this, or I might, if I am successful at keeping it to a reasonable pace, I might meander and take my time. We'll just have to see. I actually made notes, so hang on one second while I check them. I don't normally do this. Well, I used to do it, and then I sort of got out of the habit of taking notes and writing notes, and so I thought, because it was going to be a big episode, I thought I might need to write some notes, and I did, and I wrote them in really light pen, really light ink. So hang on a second. Yeah, I said that I was going to do a giveaway for my anniversary episode, which would be the next episode. Let's see. Anything else No. Okay. Nothing important in those notes. So, I did watch Danielle's episode where she mentioned that the one thing that drives her crazy is when people don't look at the camera, which of course makes all of us self-conscious about, am I looking at the camera or am I looking at my screen? So I usually, I think, do a pretty good job of looking at the camera, but I'm like overly interested or overly concerned in making eye contact with the camera this time. So it might get a little awkward. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to stare you down, I promise. I'm just trying to make sure that you feel like I'm talking to you, because I am talking to you, even though I'm sitting in a room by myself, which is better than sitting in a room with my husband out there making weird noises. But despite the fact that I'm actually sitting in a room by myself, I really am talking to you, and I really do value being able to talk to you. So I want you to engage and feel like I'm with you, or you're with me, or however you want to look at that. Right, I'm rambling. I do that. I might do it a little bit more than usual today, but I am going to try to keep the ramble to a minimum because, like I said, I think it's going to be kind of a long episode. So let's get right into stitchy things. What do I want to show you first? Well, as usual, I'm not going to show you things in any kind of order, at least not any intentional order. They may come in, it doesn't matter. Does it matter what order I show you things? I don't think so. Right, so the first thing I'm going to show you is my Spooky Halloween Sal, which is by Lakeside Needlecraft and Durian Jones. This one, all of the pieces are out now for the Spooky Halloween Sal. So if you are stitching it and you are ahead of me, which is very, very likely, you have probably finished yours already. I have not. I just finished the first part. And the first part, well, let me insert a picture of where I was the last time you saw this. So I'll insert that here. And then I'll insert, well, I'm not inserting, I'm showing you. I'm just showing you. I will show you where I am now. And that is that I have finished the first part. So the first part is this width of the pattern. It is the owl and the zombie. Mummy, zombie. I don't know, maybe it's a mummy and a zombie. Maybe it's a mombi. I don't know. Anyway, it's this part of the pattern with the tombstone and the mummy zombie and the owl. This is on 18 count Aida that I dyed myself. The whole piece, or rather the whole unfinished piece, but the whole border and everything looks like that. And this piece, the first piece is the first part of the pattern is when you get to start working with the light effects, which is what you can't really tell a lot of difference because of my lighting, but that's what the moon behind the owl is. The owl's eyes are actually a really bright sort of neon green. He has one little speck of yellow in as his beak, but the mombi has green eyes too. Those are all light effects thread by DMC. The white is actually glow in the dark, so when it charges up enough energy, it does glow in the dark, which I have checked several times because I think it's kind of cool, but I don't think the thread is cool. A lot of people have complained about working with this stuff, the light effects, and suggested using other things, even going so far as to use Krynic, using Petite Treasure Braid if you're not really invested in the glow-in-the-dark effect. I am stubborn. I'm really stubborn. You can ask the people in my stitching group. I'm very stubborn. So when I had trouble with... Sorry, I have hair in my face. when I had trouble with the thread staying together, or splitting rather, not staying together because it doesn't, but splitting apart while I was trying to thread the needle, the suggestion was made to me that I go from a 26 to a 24 needle, and that made all the difference in the world. It didn't make the light effects any more fun to work with. I still wouldn't work with it unless I was really invested in the effect that I'm going to get out of it. But it did make it easier to work with. So if you are working on this pattern, or you're working on any pattern that has light effects or calls for DMC light effects, and you find yourself getting extremely frustrated with not being able to get it to go through the eye of your needle, and you've tried everything. I mean, I tried thread magic, I tried a needle threader, I tried all sorts of things, and it led to a lot of frustration. So going up a needle size might help you. Once I used the size 24 needle, it felt very chunky sewing through my fabric, but I could keep the thread in the needle. I could get the thread through the needle eye in the first place, and it turned out decently. So I went out and bought size 24 needles because I didn't have any, and borrowed from one of my friends. But I did go and buy, and I think that's how I will handle working with light effects in the future, is just to get the chunky needle, put up with the chunk, and use it that way if I'm going to use it. I may, in the future, if I have to use it again, I may substitute it out, but yeah, so that's my suggestion to you, for you. Do with it what you will. My next piece that I worked on, and I will be continuing to work on this because I have sort of a rotation going on where I am working on a couple of smaller samplers from Doreen Jones and Lakeside Needlecraft, and I sort of rotate through them with whichever bigger project that has been languishing for a while I choose to work on at the time. So right now I am going to show you the Bands of Variation Sal. This is, again, another Lakeside Needlecraft Sal, another Doreen Jones Sal, and it's like it sounds, it's a band sampler using variegated floss. DMC variegated floss. I don't think I have a picture of where this was before I don't think I took a picture last time. I said last episode I was going to try to work on being better about taking pictures, so when I've finished recording, I'm going to take pictures of everything if I haven't already done that, so next episode I can show you. But I don't think I have a picture of this, just a still picture. I know I have video, but I don't think I have a still picture, and I don't want to fuss with cropping the picture out of the video because I did that a few episodes ago and it was terrible. The quality was just not good. So you're going to have to cope with the fact that you're starting from an already started point. But this is where I am so far in my Bands of Variation sampler. This is the first block, obviously. It's going to be a year-long stitch-along. So most people probably are going to finish these blocks before the next month comes up. I might. I'm trying. There's still time in October to finish this, and I just have to fill in the center part. This is the widest it will be. It is, I showed you last time, but it is narrow, but the fabric is, oops, I dropped the wrong end. It's narrow, but the fabric is pretty long. So, but that's where I am on the first block. It is, I'm doing the bright rainbow variation. I wanted to do it on black, to be honest with you, and I should go get, and I will in a second, but I meant to do it on black, and I tried to dye a piece of fabric black. I wanted to do it on Ada, but I wanted to do it on black Ada because I thought the bright rainbow would show up really nicely. Let me just tell you that dyeing white fabric black is really difficult. I could have ordered black Ada, but I didn't. I put it off too long and I didn't feel like it when the time came to start the sampler, and I figured I could just dye it on my own and make it black because I have the fabric, I have the dye, I have dyed before, I thought I could do it, and yeah, it didn't work out, but I'm going to go get the fabric because it did turn out, when I discovered that I wasn't going to be able to get it to uniformly black color, I decided to play a little bit with the dye, and I think what did happen was pretty cool. So hang on one second, I'm going to pause the video and I will go and get it and come back. And we're back. So Before I show you the fabric, one thing I wanted to say is I've heard recently, and I know people have talked about this before, long before I started watching Flosstube, but I've heard recently several people complain about Ada, and the fact that the sizing that they put in Ada when they manufacture the cloth makes it very stiff, and particularly in kits, the kit Ada tends to be really stiff and unpleasant to work with, and sometimes even considered just plain old unworkable. Um, and I wanted to mention, I know other people have done it, but if you have a kit that comes with Ada, or you get a piece of Ada that you would like to work on, that you're not immediately interested in swapping out for even weave or linen or whatever, try washing it, because I have found I don't go for high quality Ada. I don't, excuse me, Flosstube itchy nose. I don't necessarily need high quality Ada, but I don't mind working on it, and I don't mind dyeing it, and I don't mind having Ada in my stash. But I do know that sometimes you get pieces that are stiffer than others, and so if it bothers you, if you don't want to work with it, try washing it. Particularly if it's just a plain white Ada. Some of the hand-dyed Adas, I know you're not supposed to wash them because they're not necessarily color fast. So if you have a hand-dyed Ada that's too stiff for you, you know, that's your call. You can decide whether you want to try soaking it or not. I'm not gonna argue for or against that either way, because I don't want to encourage you to ruin your fabric. But if you, especially if you have a plain white or plain colored piece of Ada that's too stiff for you, try washing it, because once the sizing comes out, Ada is really not that bad. I mean, it's almost as soft as some other fabrics, even weaves and linens, that you can work with. Anyway, the whole point of that is that I picked up this piece when I went to get it, and I didn't remember that it was soft because it has been washed. So I was kind of surprised, and there you go. You get my opinion. Anyway, this is the piece. This was, I am doing this on 18 count Ada, white Ada. And again, with the masking tape. Don't freak out. I know. Don't freak out. But this piece, I was going to do it on 16 counts because it's what I had. I didn't have a big enough piece of 18 count. So I was going to work with what I had, and so it's 16 count, and then the dye didn't take, like I said. So this is what I ended up with. It turned into this, obviously the black washed out quite a bit. The majority of the black washed out when I rinsed it. So I let it soak with grit dye in hot water, and the majority, obviously, when I rinsed it, the majority came out. So I was going to over dye it, figuring I could just over dye it several times, and eventually I would get the color I wanted. But man, that's a lot of work, and it's you know, rinsing and wringing and rinsing and wringing, and I didn't feel like doing that. So what I did is I went back and I just sprinkled more black on top of what I had, and I ended up with this kind of cool, excuse the hanging edges because I didn't tape the whole thing, but this kind of cool, I think, what would be a really cool Halloween fabric. So I could put some other Halloween pattern on, so obviously not the Halloween Sal, since I'm doing that on the purple, but something else could go on this. And it's it's the same length, almost, as the piece that I'm doing the bands of variation on, so there's plenty of fabric to work with. It's decently wide, so I could put a not tiny pattern on this. So I'm kind of impressed. I mean, I really kind of like the way, and I'm going to just keep showing this to you, I really kind of like the way that the modeling, where the black dye settled when I sprinkled it on, came out. So sometimes you have an accident, something doesn't turn out the way you want it to when you're dyeing, and you end up with something that you like even more than what you were going for. So if you have never tried dyeing, or you have thought about trying dyeing and you haven't done it yet, I encourage you to do it, because really, you can't, I mean, unless you need something very specific when you're dyeing your fabric, you really can't mess it up. If you make a mistake and it doesn't come out the way you want it to come out, you can always use it for something else, or you can over dye it, or you can figure out a way to stitch on the part that might be more to your liking and cut off the part that you don't like. I mean, when I used to dye regularly, I dyed yarn and spinning fiber regularly, I would occasionally make something that I thought was just hideous, that nobody was going to like, that nobody would spend any money on at all. And somebody took me aside at one point because I was bad-mouthing my own creation. And she took me aside and said, hey, just because you don't like it, because it comes out of the pot differently than you expected it to, that you don't like the way the colors turn out, somebody is going to like it. Somebody out there is going to like that color combination or the way the fiber turned out, and they might just buy it. So don't spend a lot of time criticizing yourself on what you think is a failure. Just accept the fact that sometimes the dye wants to do what it wants to do. And it's not going to be exactly what you expected, but it still might work for people. And I went on that whole ramble about fiber, and I'm trying to... Sometimes, I mean, I don't dye to sell anymore. I mean, I could. I still have plenty of fiber and yarn and dye and lots of ideas for colorways, but I decided not to do that anymore. But I am constantly surrounded by the stuff that I did. So I have this sitting in a basket, and so I will try to pick. I have pieces of random things got stuck in it. So I'm trying to pick it out before I show it to you. Excuse me for the throat clear. But, you know, I do things like this. And the color is not, at least where I'm sitting, it's not exactly true to color. But who knows when the video actually processes what that will look like. It's a very warm sort of, I did a gradient on this, so it's this warm orange in the center, and then it goes through, this way. Goes through some plums and purples, and the end here, no, where's my finger? Here, right here, is actually sort of a warm, chocolatey kind of brown. So it didn't look accurate on my camera or on my screen, but it might look closer on yours. Anyway, not the point. We're not talking about what I do dye-wise on fiber anymore. We're talking about stitching. So let's get back to that. The next piece I'm going to show you is, again, another Doreen Jones Lakeside Needlecraft stitch-along. This is the specialty stitch-along. Again, I don't think I have a picture of this where it was. I will take a picture of it today, so as I progress, you will get to see where I've been. But this is, let's see, I don't think I need anything behind it, but this is the Specialty Stitches stitch-along. Again, Doreen Jones Lakeside Needlecraft. I am using Two Tails, which is a Fabrics by LJ unicorn tail floss, overdyed floss. It's teals and blues, variegated, and this is a piece of 28 count even weave. So I'm almost finished with the outer border. I have to do this side yet, and then I can go on to parts 2 and 3, which have been released. Chronically behind, but that's okay. This one, I have seen a lot of people, and it's actually, I don't know if I showed you the right way up. I don't know that it matters. I have the floss taped to the back of the masking tape. It doesn't really matter because it's supposed to be, you know, it's a square. So whichever way you show it is the way you show it. I said last episode that I didn't expect this to be as difficult as it is. I have seen that now from several people, so I don't feel as bad. I don't feel like I'm as, you know, specialty stitch slow as I felt when I started stitching this. It's surprisingly difficult to do what look like relatively simple stitches, at least in my opinion. So, you know, if you can still do this stitch along, by the way. It is in the Lakeside Needlecraft group. It is a free stitch along. Kate just recently put out a survey asking if people would be interested in a specialty stitch along that is a subscriber-based stitch along. So I think you can still take that poll. But this one is free. So if you are interested in trying out some specialty stitches you may not have done before, if you have the time, you have the space in your rotation or brain, or you're just feeling like challenging yourself, then give it a shot. I wasn't expecting it to be challenging, and it is, which makes it worthwhile if frustrating. Yeah. So what else do I have to show you? Oh, right. Again, excuse me, both for the lean and for clearing my throat. Yeah, I said that. I'm not going to excuse myself again. Because why? So the next thing I worked on, well, not the next thing, but the next thing I'm going to show you is excuse me, my Celestial Moon Dragon by Joan Elliott. This is a pattern that I am working on for my husband. Again, with the story about Heaven and Earth and dragons. He doesn't like Heaven and Earth designs. I was doing a Heaven and Earth design dragon for him until he told me that, and I decided that there's not enough time in my life to do Heaven and Earth designs for myself or anyone that are not going to be appreciated. So I put that down, and I decided to, well, I didn't decide. Through a series of various things, I am stitching him the Celestial Moon Dragon by Joan Elliott, which is partially because he bought me this book for my birthday, which is Bewitching Cross Stitch, and the Celestial Moon Dragon is, go figure, this one, right on the corner. He's a big dragon fan, so, and he requested this when he bought the book. It was sort of half-spoken, and because I bought you this book, which is out of print and sometimes difficult to find, you will stitch me this pattern that I really like. I have another book that has the pattern in it, but that book was the tipping point. So anyway, this is where I am, and do I have a picture? If I have a picture of where I was before this, I will show it to you, and I will insert it here. And if I don't, again, I will take a picture of this where it is right now, and then going forward, you'll be able to see my progress. But this is, try to straighten it out a little bit, this is where we are right now. This is the wing, the beginnings of the wing anyway. Obviously, this is not a wing. This part down here is part of the dragon's feathered, furry spine, or back, and then this is the start of the wing. And that was my cat, sorry. Do you need to meow right now? Clearly. He obviously has something very important to say. The Mike Tyson of cats, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, this is where I am on the dragon. I finished a couple more colors. It doesn't pop really. What? You are so sad. My goodness. Sad cats are the worst. It doesn't pop off of the fabric right now. There are going to be more color changes, obviously, so it should stand out a little bit more. I was a little disappointed when I got to this color and it sort of disappeared into the background, but I'm trusting the pattern. I'm trusting my color choices and the choice that my husband made on what color he wanted the fabric. So, you know, it'll be what it'll be. But it's, yeah, Joan Elliott, Bewitching, this one came out of the, again, Bewitching Cross Stitch book. It is the pattern on the cover. She has another book that is Dragons and Unicorns, and I don't actually think that it's all Joan Elliott in that one. But the pattern is in that book as well. I am stitching it on 28 count even weave that's overdyed. It started out as blue and it is overdyed, and excuse me, what? What? Why are you being annoying? Do you want to come say hello? Do you want me to pick you up and show you to everybody so I can show off my whiner? No, of course. I want to go pick him up, and he says, no, don't pick me up. So, the next piece I am going to show you, I know I do have a picture of. This is the Fantasy Stitch Along by Lakeside Needlecraft and Doreen Jones. Are you noticing a pattern here? That was last year's Stitch Along. Or rather, it started mid-year last year and ended earlier this year. Again, with most of my Stitch Alongs, I am woefully behind. The last time you saw this, I showed you, I was going to say it was when I finished the fairy, but that's not true. I have shown you this since then, so I will insert a picture of where it was last time you saw it. And I just refolded it the wrong way, so I can't show you where I am now. Hang on one second, sorry. I have finished the January block, which is the unicorn. Wow. Straight. Mostly straight. So that is the January block of the unicorn for the Fantasy Stitch Along. It is not exactly as it was charted. I did not put the yellow backstitching in because given the off-white color of my fabric and the fact that the unicorn is all white, and the background does not have any contrast color. Excuse me, it's hair, not itchy nose. I didn't feel like it was going to stand out enough to take the time to do it. Even in the pattern, it looks, or the finished picture, it looked hard to see. So I decided I opted not to do it, which is fine. You're allowed to customize the patterns however you like, right? But it is finished, so I'm pretty proud of that. I will unfold it. So you can see I now have, obviously I have the unicorn, which is January, and I have the fairy, which is December. There's an awful lot in between, and you can see I have not stitched the bubbles or anything. But I will be continuing to work on this for as long as it takes me. Next up is February, which is the mermaid, which is a really cute pattern. She's really cute, and I'm very much looking forward to getting to her. But when that will be, I can't make promises, so I won't. And did I stitch anything else? Excuse me. Oh, yes, I did. I had a new start. In Stitch Mania, the 17th of the month, we're doing a year of starts. Starts on the 17th because it's 2017. So I did have a new start, and excuse the crinkle, I'm going to pull the cover picture out of the bag. I started this, I mentioned this pattern, and I think I showed you this pattern before because I was going to stitch it for my uncle, and I found it on a website and was about to order it, and I happened to go to Joann's and found an entire kit for it for the same price I would have paid for the download. But I would have had to supply the fabric and floss, blah, blah, blah. So, this is Life is Good by Ursula Michael. Oh, that's the hand I need to move so you can see it. It has a lot of random things, baseball bats and golf clubs and bowling balls and yeah. Summer, Life is Good, some guy things. It looked like something my uncle would enjoy. So on the 17th, I finally decided to go ahead and get that started. I am using everything that came in the kit. So the floss that came in the kit, the stiff 14 count Ada, I am using it. I did not wash it first because it didn't bother me, but this is where I got. And not very far. I did all of one color on the pattern comes in 2 pieces. I did all of one color on the, I didn't do all of one color. I did a length of floss. I'm lying to you, and I'm sorry. I did a length of floss. That tends to be how I work when on my rotation now, is I will take one length of floss, I will do as much as I can with one length of floss, and then I will move on to the next thing. Unless I'm really determined to get it finished, like I was with the Halloween stitch along. Then I will take more time and I will dedicate more floss to it. But this keeps me entertained, and it keeps things moving and keeps progress happening. So, one length of floss on that, you can't tell anything. This is part of a shovel handle. This, I believe, is a sand castle. I'm not exactly sure what it is. It kind of looks like a lighthouse, kind of looks like a sand castle. It's this thing. This thing right here. So anyway, that's where I got on Life is Good. And it will go into rotation. I was hoping to have this done by Christmas. We will see if that happens. I do have a couple months, obviously, but I have an awful lot of things that I'm working on, so who knows. And that is all I touched as far as stitching goes. So, like I said, not a lot of stitching to show you this time, but I do have a lot of things to show you as far as haul goes. So if you'll excuse me, I'm going to take a drink, and then we'll jump right into haul. I know some people don't like that, and I apologize for drinking if it bothers you, but as you can tell by my funky throat, I needed it. So, for the first time in a very long time, when I went thrifting and looking for cross-stitch things, I actually found something, which led to another discovery, which I will tell you about in just a second. But what I found, and it's not in the best condition, but it's serviceable, it's usable, and I don't mind the fact that the dust cover is a little bit torn up, because the book itself is fine. I found Cross Stitch for the first time, which is obviously a beginner's cross stitch book, and it is by Donna Cooler. So it's actually the Donna Cooler studio. So it's all of the artists who are represented under the Donna Cooler name. But this was a cute book. It was only a couple of dollars, and it has some cute patterns that I really should have marked before I started recording, because now, of course, I have to try to find them while you're watching me try to find them. Let me see if I can do this without showing you patterns, because the book is basically a picture and then a pattern, or a pattern and then a picture. But I thought, I thought that was cute. The cat with the flowers. Let me get it a little closer to my camera without making you sick, hopefully. So I thought that was cute. There are a couple things in here that I saw that are shown as examples, because they have examples of how do you read a split graph? How do you use specialty stitches? How do you use floss? Is it, like I said, it's cross stitch for the first time, so it is an instructional how do you do cross stitch book. I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, there were designs that that I wanted to stitch that are in here as an example. I think this is a very cute, and it's actually crooked in the picture, and they tilt the picture, so I'm gonna tilt the book so you can kind of see it. I think that's a cute woodland animal picture or pattern. So they use them as examples, but the examples are not necessarily in the book. And I was kind of disappointed by that, because part of the reason why I bought the book was because of the pictures that were in there. But I discovered, as I said I was going to tell you, and this is cute too, this wolf. Me and my Southwestern Native American thing, I think he's really cute. I will stitch him, almost certainly. I will probably not make a pillow out of him, because I'm one of those that's not real sure about cross-stitch patterns on pillows. I don't want people leaning against it and sweating on them and putting their butt on them and things like that. But it's a pretty cute pattern. Anyway, ramble, tangents. I discovered that the I'm going to butcher that every time. Donna Cooler does have a website, and that you can download patterns from her website. There are downloadable patterns. I didn't know that. I brought that up with my stitching group, and a couple of them did know, and a couple of them didn't. So you may not know. Now you do. And I will put a link to the website in the notes on this. But yeah, so some of the patterns that I saw in the book that I sort of wanted to, or was hoping to stitch, and do not actually have patterns in the book, you can find on the website, which is good to know. I believe this is one of them. I think you can find this one. I don't think that the picture on the website is not shown on dark fabric, but I believe that you can get this pattern on the website. I'm pretty sure you can. This is by Janelle Geese, if that's how you pronounce her name. I like carousel horses. I know some of you do, so I believe that is available on the website if you don't have it already. I know that Sandy Orton's Fairy Tales, there are some of these. Ooh, let me see if I can get it in the frame. There we go. That would be Cinderella. But I know that some of Sandy Orton's patterns are available. And I know that, where's the other one? I am not entirely sure. I did find these on the website. I don't remember, whoops, wrong page. I don't remember who the artists are on each of them, but this celestial design and the clock, which is called It's All About Time, or It's About Time, are also available on the website. So, yeah. I found those. I found the book, Cross Stitch for the First Time by Donna Cooler. And then I found the website. So hopefully that is of interest to some of you. Or to one or two of you, a few of you, however many of you it interests. I hope somebody likes the fact that I shared that. While I was wandering around, oh, let me do this first. This one is, and you know, sometimes we blame each other for enabling one another. It's what we do on Flosstube. That's one of the fun things about Flosstube is you get to see things you didn't know about, and then shake your fist in impotent fury because somebody shows you something that you absolutely have to have. This was not an absolute have to have, but it's something that I definitely want because eventually I do actually want to try to design some things, which perhaps I will talk about in the future. I have some ideas, and this will help me, I think. This is Passion for Cross Stitch, and this is something that Kelly Bell of Kelly Bell Stitches talked about and got, and I saw on her Flosstube and went, oh my gosh, I didn't know that existed, and have had it in my cart on Amazon for a while, and finally got it, or pulled the trigger and ordered it and had it delivered, I think, a couple weeks ago. But Passion for Cross Stitch is a book that is for designing cross stitch patterns. I mean, it says down at the bottom, Cross Stitch Design Journal. And all that is in here, well, almost all that's in here, all that is in here, so there's no spoilers or anything, is paper. It's gridded paper. It is the usual 10 by 10 blocks of gridding. It is, they give you, what is it, 80 stitches across, and, oh, how many high? 80 stitches across and 100 high. So, yeah. So it's 10 by 10 gridding, and then at the back of the book, there is a stitch guide. There is a, you know, how many stitches to the inch, all that kind of thing. There's a conversion table at the back. My book, they sent it, when they sent it, they stuck the cover together, like the envelope stuck to it, so the pages are a little bit glued together, but it's not a big deal. I can still use this. I'm not going to complain about it. I will use this to design things. So if you are a designer and you don't know about this and want some actual physical paper to design on, this would be a good book for you. If you are not a designer but you are thinking about it or you'd like to play, I think it was like $9 or $10. It wasn't that expensive. And if you're a Prime member, you'll get it quickly. But yeah, if you're interested in designing, this is, it's there. Literally, there's no frills. There's nothing else in here. There are no suggestions. There are no design templates. Just gridded paper and the conversion table at the back. But I thought it was pretty cool, and I, like I said, I will definitely use it. What else did I get? Oh, I should do this in a group. So hang on, I'll talk. I'll look at the camera and talk while I try to dig things out. Hi, how are you? Stony Creek. I did not know, or rather, I think I did know, but I had forgotten about the pattern of the month thing that Stony Creek does, the pamphlet of the month that you can get for free, or rather, not for free. The pattern itself is free. You pay for the shipping, and if you buy the charms, you pay for the charms as well. Or you can order the charms, which I did when I bought mine. I did buy the last the last one that was in September, which was this Witch's Feet from the long bell pull, the Halloween themed bell pull, because I didn't realize or I didn't pay enough attention, whatever. I got the last part of that pattern. So you can go back and order the other pieces, but you do have to pay for the patterns at that point. The pattern is only free for the month that it's released. But then, having been reminded about that, I did go and get the pattern of the month for October, which is they are doing seasonal snowmen. So the entire pattern will look like this, if you can see all of that. And the one for October is spring flowers, and it looks like this. I'm not sure about snowmen in spring. I guess snowmen in spring is less weird than snowmen in summer, which is the next pattern, but that is the first part of the 4-piece pattern that they're doing for the next several months. And I did order the charms for it, the buttons for it, rather. This doesn't have any address stuff, and you're not really probably going to be able to see them. Well, maybe you can. They're a little flower and a little bee. So you pay for those. You don't get those for free. But I figured, why not? And while I was there, I decided to order the Summer Stony Creek magazine because it was the Christmas edition. So it looks like, the cover of it looks like that with the stocking. I am not a stocking stitcher. I have some stocking patterns, but I'm not a stocking stitcher. Which will play into my next episode, so stay tuned. But I do like Christmas quite a bit. And so I ordered the magazine, and then I went back and subscribed to the magazine after I got it and saw how cool it is. So I will be getting the quarterly magazines from now on. But they have some really cool patterns. Now, most of the time they don't actually mention who the designer is because it's all under the Stony Creek banner. I'm sure I could do the research and figure out, or you can do the research if you're interested, and figure out who the designers of all of these patterns are. I'm not going to show you a lot because I'm sure somebody has gone through this. As a matter of fact, I think Danielle, Stitcherista, has done a flip through of this magazine. The one that stood out to me it's called Friendly Mailbox Welcome. And it's, let me try to get that flat, and yeah. So it says, welcome friends, and it has the woodland animals, the deer and the cardinals and the tree with the squirrel. I think this is really cute. I don't know if I will stitch it. I probably won't stitch it this year, at least if I do, but I might stitch it sometime in the future. And there are other very cool patterns in here. The stocking, again, I'm not a stocking stitcher. I think that's really cute. I think it's a cute stocking, but I won't stitch it. But you can go back and buy the past episodes, the past issues of Stony Creek magazine. You can subscribe. Yeah. So that's what I did. And yeah. I had a brain fart. Sorry. I'm sure I had a segue to what I'm doing. I'm sure I had it planned out, and it fell apart. It does that sometimes. My brain just stops. So I ordered from 123 Stitch, like you do. We all do. Most of us do, anyway. And I decided to jump on the sled bandwagon, or the sled wagon, I guess. These are the sleds that people put the perforated paper and small pieces of fabric, little tiny designs on them. I decided I would try that this year to make ornaments for Christmas. I only got 2. So I can try them and see if I like the whole process of putting designs on the sleds. And if I do, I will get more. But I decided to try that out. And then I was looking for stitching things because I see a lot of people doing like Home of a Needleworker 2, which is not my style, so I won't stitch that one. Or what is it? I am part of the Stitcher Nation, which is sort of, well, it's not really my style, but I like it more than Home of a Needleworker. But I decided to look for some cross-stitching needlework sort of quick patterns, things that sort of proclaim my love of needlework. And yeah, I'll talk about that later. But I got, and hopefully these won't be too blurry, I saw Katie the Stash Queen is doing this one, has done this one, has it in her rotation, I don't know. But this is Foxwood Crossing Stitch-A-Lot. There you go. And if you cannot read that, and sorry for the glare, I didn't want to pull it out of the bag. If you cannot read it, it says, I am the queen of Stitch-A-Lot, reigning o'er my kingdom. Bunch of stash, I stash, my kingdom, bunch of stash. I stash, I stitch, I stitch, I stash, happy with my stitch stash cash. Sort of a tongue twister. Also very appropriate for those of us who continue to build stash. So I have that to be stitched at some point. I also, I have discovered that I like, aside from liking Quakers, which I think I talked about in my last episode, which surprised me, I have discovered that I really like the stitching rows, the long, or not stitching rows, but rows and things like that. The long patterns. So Bent Creek had the stitching row, which looks like this. And I decided to grab that as well. Comes with a little, I'm going to show you chart. Well, yeah, I was going to show you chart. Anyway, it comes with a button because there's a button right there in the pattern. And then I ordered a bunch of 25 count Lugana because I'm going to, I have been introduced to Heaven and Earth designs. I have 2 on the go. I have many more patterns. Well, not as many as some, but I do have several more patterns. I am planning to buy more because that's what I do. And do other full coverage pieces, which I like to do on the 25 count Lugana, rather than the 28 count. I think the 28 count is a little too small for me, but 25 count is right in my happy spot. So I got a bunch of that. I got about a yard of it, and well, not about a yard, I got a yard of it. So I can cut it up and make full coverage pieces. And I just realized that I left the designs that I bought in the last Heaven and Earth sale in my binder, and I should probably get those since I'm admitting to everything that I bought. So hang on, I will pause you once again, and I will be right back. Back again. I think I haven't shown you things that I've bought for the last 2 times that there has been a sale at Heaven and Earth. And fair warning, normally the sales at Heaven and Earth are 35% off when they have sales. Right now, as in they announced today and through October 25th, which is Wednesday. So if you see this between the 23rd and the 25th, you have been warned. They are having a 50% off sale, so I will undoubtedly go and buy a couple more charts because that's a deal that's too good to pass up for me. Excuse me. But anyway, these are charts that I bought in the last couple of sales and I have not shown you, so I'll show you now. And hopefully the glare won't be too terrible. I'm not going to take them out of the protective sleeves because they're just the cover picture. I don't have anything else in there, and I don't want to spend a lot of time wrestling with plastic. So I bought Mini Ravenkin by Selena Fenech. I think you pronounce her name Fenech. It might be Fenech or something else. I don't know. But as I have described to you many times, I am a magpie. I like magpies and ravens. And I particularly like this artwork. So, Mini Ravenkin by Selena Fenech. I bought, and I almost always buy minis. There are a couple patterns that I would really like to stitch that are full-size patterns, and given my speed at stitching the minis, I don't know that I would ever finish a full-size piece, much less something like a supersize, so I will never buy one of those. But, yeah, most of my purchases are minis, and I have quite the wish list full of minis, so it's not like I'm hurting for choice or lacking for options. Someday I may pay to have some of the larger pieces turned into minis if I have gone through what I already have, but we all know how likely that is, so I might just coast on what's already been mini-sized. Shrunk. The word escapes me. Anyway, I also bought Mini Lackadaisy Demon Rum. I love the Lackadaisy series. I really like Tracy Butler's art. I am aware of Tracy Butler and was aware of Tracy Butler when she was, when her characters were all anthropomorphic animals. She transformed a lot of them, if not all of them, into humans, which is the Lackadaisy series that Heaven and Earth has. And I admire all of them. They are not all mini, so I can't get all of them yet, but I am working my way through those that are mini already so I can have them and eventually stitch them. I also bought the Story Keep of White Ninetail Fox by Stephanie Law. I also truly enjoy Stephanie's artwork, and if more of them, well, I will collect as much as I can, the ones that appeal to me. If more of them were minis or Story Keeps, I would probably have a lot more than I do already. And I bought the mini version of Spirit's Calling, which Chrissy Grandjean is a, she started, I believe, as a anthropomorphic artist. And obviously she still does anthropomorphic things. She does art. She actually draws, I think, more lifelike animals now, and some people, but her primary thing was, and is, anthropomorphic art. And this is really my style. This is basically me and a piece of art, if I had to sum it up. So I got those from the last couple of Heaven and Earth sales. Like I said, again, from today until the 25th of October, there is a 50% off sale. So if you are interested in Heaven and Earth designs and you are unable to resist, go grab things while they are inexpensive. And like I said, this is hard. I kind of feel guilty with all of this stuff. Now, keep in mind that, as I said, I buy things on sale. I do buy things full price, so please don't judge me and think that I'm only buying things when they're on sale. I do like to support artists. I do like to support the companies that I appreciate. And I do those at full price sometimes, but I also like to take advantage of sales. Who doesn't? And sometimes I take advantage of Amazon and the fact that they have a large selection of out-of-print or hard-to-find patterns and pamphlets and things like that that are inexpensive. I do not remember why I stumbled across these patterns. They are border samplers by J.M. Keeling. They are long out of print, and they are Native American themed. Again, with me and my Native American theme thing. They said I am Native, partially Native, so they have a certain meaning to me. But I found these. This is the Raining Feathers border sampler. And as you can see, it has prairie chickens, quail actually, and feathers on the border, and a southwestern theme. And I found the prairie tails, which are wolves and groundhogs, and again, the southwestern Native American theme. These both came from Amazon. These were both in the used book section. Very inexpensive. Again, the artist's name is J.M. Keeling. Yeah, J.M. Keeling. And yeah, you are not going to find her many places. There is another sampler. There's a Cocopele sampler, which I would really like to have, but I could not find that anywhere. So I will keep my eye out. It is on a list so I can be notified if it happens. I did not check eBay because I have issues with PayPal, as I've discussed before. So it may be there. If you are interested, you can go and look it up, or look it up on Amazon. You can see the picture, you just can't order the pamphlet. And last but not least, I finally gave in to my curiosity and to all of your wonderful rave reviews of fabric from XJU Design. I have no idea if that's how you say the shop name. That's what most of you call it. That's what I call it. It may be XJU Design. It may be Ju Design, as I heard somebody say. I don't know. I haven't asked her, and I probably should, but I didn't. So I'm just going to go with XJU. It is the shop that is in Hungary. She has really nice pieces of fabric for not very expensive and not a lot of money. She is very quick about shipping. And you were all right when you said that the fabric smells really good. This is some of the fabric. It smelled a little bit vinegary when it first got to me, but now the vinegar has sort of faded off of it, and it just smells nice. Yeah. Right. I'm going to stop saying that word and just show you I got a bunch of little pieces of fabric. So this is khaki green. And interestingly, I kind of want to unfold this one because when I unfolded it, I got it and it looks like khaki green. A little bit mottled, but it looks like khaki green, not a surprise in the color. And then when I unfolded it, and I don't know if this is going to show up. Yeah. Well, a little bit anyway. There is actually, in the khaki green, there's actually a little bit of like a light blue. to the background, and I don't know if that's because the linen was over dyed, or the fabric was over dyed, or if that's the color that she put on it, that it was supposed to be blue and khaki green. I like it, is what I'm trying to say in my long-winded way. I like the color. I'm surprised that it is not simply khaki green, and impressed, and I really like it. I don't know what I'm going to stitch on most of these pieces. Some pieces I do have ideas, but for the most part, I just bought them because I wanted to get free shipping. Fair's fair. Honest is honest. That's what I wanted. And if you buy a certain amount, she will ship everything for free. So, this color is called Dark Soil. Sort of a dark neutral brown. This is another one that I'm going to unfold because I really like the color. This is Fawn Brown. And I should probably have put something behind that because it's really see-through. But I really like that color. And I'm trying to speed up a little bit because we're over an hour now. And I did warn you it was going to be a long episode. I didn't think it was necessarily going to be that long, but I got a piece of 32 count Lugana, opalescent Lugana. This is called Spice. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see the sparkle, probably not, but it's a pretty peachy, orangey, sparkly piece of fabric. This is the one that originally caught my eye when I went to her shop, and I bought this because it's pretty. This is, it's called, what is it called? Just teal green. It's called Teal Green. It is a piece of 32 count Cashel linen. Cashel? Or is it Belfast? It's Belfast. Sorry, not Cashel. It is very sparkly. Super, super sparkly. And I think I'm going to put a mermaid on it. I was originally thinking I might put a Christmas thing on it because that's what it sort of looks like it needs. But I think I might put a mermaid on it. And the piece, the Resistance, that I was not expecting to be my favorite piece, because I didn't know what to expect, really. I decided to take a chance on 40 count. Now, I use magnifiers with 18 count ADA, so I'm going to have to use magnifiers with this for sure. But I wanted to see what it was like, because I have never seen 40 count linen before. So I got a piece of 40 counts, which is Newcastle linen, in her spilled coffee colorway. And oh my goodness, look at this, you guys. Look at this piece of fabric. Look at the modeling on this. This is stunning, 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 stunning. I told my stitching group, and I've told a couple other people, I feel like I need to stitch something rose-colored and girly and pretty on it. I could be wrong, but that's what called to me. I don't think I could fit a Mirabilia, maybe a Nora Corbett on there. But yeah, I love that colorway. Love it. I am resisting the urge to go back to her shop and look and see if she has more in any fabric, because it's just that good. And that said, don't go buy all the spilled coffee. Let me have some. No, I'm kidding. Go and shop with her. She was, like I said, very fast, very cost appropriate. I mean, great prices. The free shipping deal is a great deal, and yeah, definitely worth the raving that you have heard from other people. But that's it. Finally, we have reached the end of my haul. And I think the fact that I had so much haul, and I just knocked stuff off my desk, is that I think the fact that I had so much stuff to talk about in haul is one of the reasons why I am questioning whether I can do something like Stitch from Stash next year. I know for a fact that I do not have the self-control to not buy anything. There are going to be things that I really want to participate in, like stitch-alongs probably, despite the fact that I'm always behind. There will be patterns that come out or that you guys show that I see that I have to have them. But I have accumulated quite a few patterns this year on top of the things I already had. I have a lot of magazines. I went through my old stash today, and Yeah, I could probably stitch from stash as far as patterns go for a couple of years. My cat is back. And not have a problem finding things to stitch. So I am contemplating doing that. I know that several of you tried to do it this year and just decided that it was too much stress and too much, and you couldn't do it. If I do it, I will do a modified version where I'm not gonna. I probably won't be as strict as I should be to do Stitch from Stash. I will set myself a budget, but I'm not going to. I'm itchy. Sorry. I'm not going to penalize myself or treat myself badly if I spend more than I expected to spend. I think I need to do something to try to get this spending under control, or the buying under control. I have thought about telling myself that I can't buy anything until I finish something. We'll see if that works. But I'm thinking about it. So, give me your suggestions. Give me your advice. Are you doing Stitch from Stash? Have you tried to do Stitch from Stash? Did it work for you? Did it not work for you? What do you think would have helped it work for you? And do you think you ever could have done it if it didn't work? The other thing I think I'm going to do for sure is do, I just looked it up so I would know what it's called and I forgot again. Excuse me. Year of Whips. The Year of Whips for 2018. Year of Whips starts on January 18th of 2018 and it goes through December 18th of 2018. You have to have 15 pieces in order to qualify for the prize drawing at the end. You must complete half of those, so 7 pieces, 7 or 8. I have no idea whether I can do that. I've completed one piece this year, but it was a big piece. It was my mom's tablecloth, so I know I can get things done. That's not true. I've completed 2 things. I completed my aunt's piece too. But I definitely think I need to do it. I think I need to do a little bit of a push to complete some things instead of constantly wanting to start things, which is where I am right now, having serious startitis. It's a Sarah thing, as I said before. Or not as I said, but as I told someone else. It's definitely a Sarah thing. Stitch from Stash, Year of Whips, I think I'm going to be looking into both of those. So if you are interested in doing those and you want a cheering buddy, or you would be willing to be a cheering buddy for me, because I will probably need more cheering, let me know. Say something in the comments. And I think I should probably stop talking, because that's it. I don't have any updates on the stitching retreat that I was looking into. I haven't really done anything because I've been sick and we had some animal health issues, so I will continue to look into that, and if I know anything, I will certainly let you know when I do. And so I think I'll wrap up. So if you are still with me after an hour of stuff, thanks for hanging in there. Thanks for, I hope you enjoyed it. Go ahead and leave comments if you would like. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't. And I will see you in a couple of weeks. Basically, that's all I have to say. If you are interested in seeing a snake, I will go ahead and grab her right now. I'm going to pause the video one more time, and I will bring her down, and I will introduce you to one of my new babies. If you're not, no harm, no foul. Have a nice stitchy time. I hope that your life is going well. I hope that you are at peace and that your projects are coming along nicely. And I'll see you in a couple weeks. Bye. Back one more time. If you are still here, I am assuming that that's because you would like to see one of my new babies. Like I said, we went to the Sacramento Reptile Show, which is the big show in Northern California every year. We went at the end of September, and we found some babies that we have been looking for a while and have not successfully found in past years, but we did find them this year. And so I will, because she's actually decided not to be a ball, introduce you to one of my new ball pythons. This, and of course she's going to be shy, but where's her face? There it is. Hello. This is Frida. Frida is a pied ball python. Her color is called pied. And let me see if I can show you. Whoop, in front of the camera. She has this beautiful painted color. The orange and black pattern. She has a very nice stripe on her. And then she's got white. You can see her belly is white. You can see up there. She is a pied ball python. This is a dominant gene, so we have a male pied ball python. We've been looking for a girlfriend for him for a while. He is an adult. Frida, obviously, since she fits in my hand, is a baby. So when she is grown up and big enough, we will breed them and get more babies that are hopefully this color, because I really like Frida's color. But I think she has a really cute little face, and she's very sweet and very calm. Sometimes babies can be a little bit nippy because they don't know what's going on in the world around them. They're not experienced, of course. But that is one of our girls, Frida the ball python. And her name is Frida because she was named for Frida Kahlo. My husband started a naming scheme for the ball pythons that he wanted, because they're painted, they look like they're painted. He wanted them names after painters. Obviously, like I said, our male's name is Picasso. So we were looking for female painters, and sadly there are not as many choices, or well-known choices among female painters as there are among men. But I suggested Frida, and it stuck. So we have Frida and Picasso. When we have more babies, who knows what we'll name them, but for now we have the two. We do have another ball python and another corn snake. I showed you corn snakes, or no, I showed you my Kenyan sand boa. We mostly have corn snakes. We did get a corn snake. We got another ball python, but the ball python ate last night, and so I don't want to disturb her. And the corn snake is a little bit wiggly. She's still a baby, a little hard to hold her. Perhaps I will show her in the future. But for right now, it's just me and Frida, and we're going to say goodbye. Goodbye.